Hello, y'all. I just wanted to come on here today and express some of the thoughts that I've had concerning this young man who recently passed away. Named, I'm not sure how to even pronounce his stage name, but I believe it's XXX Tentacion. I'm just gonna call him X or Triple X to keep it short and simple. But first of all, I just want to express my condolences to his family on his passing. To be honest, I don't really know too much about him. From what I understand, he's a high-profile rapper who originated from my home state of Florida. I've been on the internet looking up information about him and researching some articles and watching YouTube videos. Seems like he had ran into some troubles in his past with alleged domestic abuse on his ex-girlfriend and some other alleged criminal acts. But he was only 20 years old when they killed him. So I imagine he would have had his whole life ahead of him and the chance to get himself together and to get himself right spiritually had he not been taken out so soon. It's a tragedy and a sad event all around. The last I heard, they caught one person. Witnesses say that 3 people were involved in his shooting death. The police have already captured 1 suspect. The last I heard, 2 are still at large. Personally, I think he was set up or either followed and stalked. What I don't understand is he knew that he's a high-profile person and that a lot of people followed him and were aware that he had money. When you're a high-profile person with considerable wealth, and he flexed and he flaunted all of his wealth on social media. So being that he's a high-profile person with all that wealth, you know that there's going to be people out there who are going to be hating on you and jealous because you have wealth and they don't. So he should have had security or bodyguards traveling with him at all times. So that's one thing that doesn't make sense to me. Why would he be traveling with, driving an expensive BMW and carrying around cash and valuable merchandise and not have protection? He should have been strapped and should have had a bodyguard or security with him. But sometimes these young people, they feel that because they are so young, they're untouchable and invincible. But he learned the hard way that he's a mortal being just like everybody else. If they were going to rob him, they didn't have to kill the man. They should have just took. I don't condone or support criminal acts and robberies and things of that nature. But if they were going to steal from him and take his money, they should have just took his shit and left it at that. They didn't have to kill the man. Niggas these days are just so bloodthirsty and hateful that it deeply bothers them to see someone else succeeding when they're failing and living in misery. So rather than just take the man's money or his valuables, they want to take it a step further and kill the man because they didn't want to see him happy. That's how it is in the black community. That's why I don't associate very much with people in the black community, because of this self-hatred and hatred of each other and crab in a bucket mentality. And I'm not saying all, but a lot of people within the black community don't want to see others happy, especially if they're not happy and living a good life. It bothers them deeply to see someone else succeeding when they're failing and living in misery. So it's just toxic, and I try my best, unless We're talking about upwardly mobile, positive people who are trying to make progress in their life. I prefer to just keep to myself and not associate with people who aren't trying to do something positive with their life. And that doesn't go just for black people, it goes for people of all groups. I don't associate with toxic people, toxic and negative people, because those types of people are going to always try to do things to sabotage your plans and your goals that you have to try to succeed and do something good with your life. Another thing that's very troubling to me is that I've been reading some of the comments on social media, and there are a lot of people are who have been expressing that they are happy that this young man has died. I believe that many of these people who are talking this way are black, and that makes it even all the more disturbing to me. You know, it's one thing to have apathy and to feel indifferent about someone dying, especially when you have no connection to the person, you didn't know them. But for you to come out and say that you hate someone and that you are glad or happy to see that that person has died, that makes you the worst kind. You are any person who would say such things about someone who has died under such tragic circumstances, that makes them no better than the people who are involved in the young man's killing. You're just as depraved and hateful and sick. And I doubt that they would speak so freely about hating this guy and wanting to see it and being happy about the guy being dead if they knew that they could be traced. You know, it's easy for someone to talk trash about someone when they're doing it under the cloak of anonymity. I guarantee you that they would never say something like that openly if they knew that they could be identified, and they would never say something like that in the presence of this young man's family. That's just a sick, twisted individual. You know, I don't know what kind of homes these people were raised up in, but it just goes to show you the state of depravity and negative mindsets that people are living in and existing in. God forbid that something like that. I'm not wishing any ill will or, you know, bad luck or anything, or an untimely demise on anyone, but God forbid that they did meet an untimely demise in the same way that XXXTentacion did. Then I would hope that people would have decency and wouldn't go on social media like they're doing and talk about how they're glad or happy that they have passed away. There's no need to put that type of toxicity and negativity out there in the universe, you know. I find that when you put negativity and bad vibes out there in the universe, sometimes the universe has a way of sending the toxicity right back to you. Speak life to people. Speak life positively to people. And like my mom always said, if you have nothing positive to say about people, keep your mouth shut, you know? Just like with some of these people who are now uploading YouTube videos talking about how they're formulating these stupid conspiracy theories, talking about how they don't think that the man is dead. It's a ploy and a publicity stunt for him to have more sales on a newly released album or single. Come on. Why can't you just accept the fact that this man is dead? He's not immortal. He was a human being just like the rest of us. It is what it is. The man is dead. And then there's another group of individuals who um, are speculating about who did what. There's some are accusing or alleging that since his uncle was present, that his uncle may have had something to do with it. My take on it is that if you have no idea what you're talking about, if you have no proof or evidence that as to who was involved, then you need to shut up. Keep your mouth shut. Let the police do their job. It's not your job or your business to play the detective and guess about who may have done it or who may have been involved. That's how shit gets started. That's how rumors and conflict and strife is started, by people making things up, and someone else taking that information and running with it. I don't know what kind of lifestyle X lived, but since he was in the rap game, I believe there's a strong possibility that he wasn't living, let's say, a righteous life. So, and if you're not living a spiritually sound and righteous life, sometimes things have a way, your negative lifestyles and habits have a way of catching up with you. As they say, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. I'm not saying that he deserved to die, but that's just the way it is in this life. Speaking of people flaunting their wealth, that's another thing that can lead to a person's demise, is that flexing and flossing and flashing. You let me come into that type of money, millions and millions of dollars. No one would ever know. That's something I would keep a secret. In fact, I would want people to continue to think that I have nothing, because when you brag and you tell people what you got, you make yourself a target to opportunists. I understand that he was, when you're in the entertainment industry, especially in the rap genre, sometimes you have to play the part in order to attract a certain type of audience. But if it were me, I would try to keep things low key, and live a very modest lifestyle so as not to attract trouble and opportunists. Because you're going to have people coming at you who are either going to be trying to beg you for what you have, or trying to take what you have by force. So, that's just something to think about.